to welcome you to our first annual Landers Institute conference for global purchasing managers. We've really brought in some top-notch speakers, and I know you're going to find them fascinating. We really need to find the best suppliers in the world, suppliers with the appropriate and latest technologies, with the right features, with the right cost structures, with shortened or reduced cycle times that are able to support our business and help us compete, help our companies compete in the world. And to do that, instead of depending on limited local distributors, we really need global purchasing managers to talk to the world, to talk to the companies and the suppliers that are out there, to understand what they have, to understand who's got the right product for us, who's going to have the right product in time, and on time, on cost, and on quality. And that's what we're trying to develop here at the Landers Institute, to help you go out and provide those services to companies here in Israel and
How can procurement support product leadership? We have to work with the technology people and identify the technology leaders in the market that we need to buy their technology and embed it within our solution, right? I don't think there's one company in the world that invents everything end to end. Usually we all buy parts of what we do from other suppliers and we embed them inside the OEM agreements, right? So we got to be there to support the organizational needs. And if we know it's a core technology that has to do a lot with the product leadership, we have to have the right contract to support it. So that's one task that we do. And then once we have the contract and the engagement is already there, we completed the sourcing process, we need to manage the relationship with the vendor. And there's always crisis, there's always new needs, there are always problems to solve, quality issues, lead time, of course, and that's called vendors management. And that's another layer of what we do in the procurement. When you look at customer intimacy, it's again technology usually, because when you work on a strategy of customer intimacy, you don't develop the technology itself, you actually buy it and you wrap it up. So you have a lot of alliances, you have a lot of subcontractors that you work with, all of this. Who's taking care of that? Procurement. And then when you talk about operational excellence, of course, the buzzword would be cost reduction. Okay? So that's the main driver. And then you have the lead time, and then you have all the mechanisms to manage material in a smart way that will support the operations and enable the operations to be thin and efficient. That's a lot to do with how you buy and how you engage with all the vendors. And if you want to sum it up, we need to lead the efficiency and risk management with the relationships of the vendors, to lead quick and very smart engagements. We need to manage the partnerships strongly so they are successful, and then to operate efficient and sophisticated material supply for the operational day-to-day. These 4 layers of activities actually call them the procurement 4 rings of responsibility, and they're structured. The first layer is the purchasing operations. Okay, those are the daily activities of supply chain. The second layer on top of it is the supplier's relationship management, the overall management. There's a change in the trend in the procurement world in the past 10 years. I think that in the past, most organizations had a purchasing that was more administrative, that was more focused on issuing the POs, the purchase orders, and today analyzing all the risks involved in the engagement. In addition to that, we also have qualification of suppliers and certification of suppliers and ongoing measurement of their performance. And then this is the fourth ring that we discussed, that relates to maintaining accurate database and creating the intelligent business, the BI for the management to understand where we spend the money, how do we spend it. When we depend in different vendors, we have to stick where we have risk. Okay? It's not only engaging, it's also risk management and how to spread the risk between the vendors in the market, and if we have, and always track the relationship with the vendors and see where we smell some risk coming up and go out there and do something before it hits us.
That is a good example how you turn things into the right way. Okay? And in negotiation, you use a lot in turning around the issues in order to make it optimal for yourself. We don't see any business schools teach negotiations. It's very rare. You see psychology, you see sociology, you see political science, you see a lot of issues, but you don't see negotiations. So, Yael has talked about how within the organization we are evolving, and within the day-to-day life we understand that we need to change something in order to make the negotiations fruitful. And how we do that? We engage a lot of key personnel, and we train them. We train them how to speak with suppliers. If we want them to represent us, because you need to understand that you cannot say to within an organization like Procurement, a lot of companies like NICE, for example, or Inter, they come and they speak to the marketing, they speak to your management, they speak to the technology guys. They never come around, first of all, and they go directly, where's the procurement office? Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Yael from NICE. I wanted to sell you a voicemail or a recording system. It doesn't work that way. They have a business manager which goes to the marketing, and this is why you need to market your jobs. You need to train the key personnel. Okay, if you're not going to persuade them into your job, if you're not going to teach them how to speak to suppliers, they're not going to know how to do that. So you need to market yourselves in a way that you set an expectations and targets. So in that sense, I come to a colleague of mine and I said, okay, we're going to purchase a new voicemail system. What are our expectations? We want the new voicemail to do what? To do video, to do recording for how long? 30 seconds, 1 minute and a half, 3 hours, how long? And then we set an expectations and targets. Why do we do that? We do that in order to convince our key personnel to be with us within the negotiations, which we actually learn from our past experience where we have failed. It's not to be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're actually learning from your past mistakes. The organization that does not learn from past mistakes, it is the worst organization. The organization that learns from past mistakes is a moving organization. Now, how do we get a competitive edge? Yeah, let's talk about the competitive edge. And we can see that me and Paul connected through LinkedIn. But I can also tell you that most suppliers, before coming to me, I looked them up on LinkedIn. I see who their friends are. I see what their business is about. I see what key personnel they know within my organization, what key personnel they do not know, what's their focus of their business, and what they can offer to our business. Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet offer you the financial status that Yael has talked about, and you can learn a lot. Who's the owners of the company? You can see if they have a financial problem or not. You can also talk to our suppliers as means of a source of information. If I talk to Variant about NICE, then I gather some more information before they come to me. Because if I have more information, then I'm better prepared for negotiations. Americans don't believe that you're going to succeed if you don't practice. Okay, so this is the key issue. If you want to succeed in negotiations, you need to practice. How do we practice negotiations? Okay, we're going to talk about it. The importance of WWW. 4 W's. Okay? We want to control whom we're meeting, when we're meeting, what is the meeting about, and where is it. We talked about a crisis that we have with some company. Where are we going to meet them? Their office, our office. When you have a crisis, you want to go and neutralize. Coffee shop is a good example. Restaurant is a good example. So the where is very much important.
In general, we see ourselves as an enabling organization. We need to enable interoperation. We want to reduce money. We want to make good contracts. But at the end, we need to enable the operation. If we are not doing the things that we should do, and things are not done at the timing they should happen, we get into a situation that we become showstoppers for the organization. So this is our global life cycle. I won't go over to every item, I just want to emphasize a few things. This is the unseen line between the global and the regional. Okay? So the global teams are working on the global strategic supply base. Okay? They are creating the standards, they are setting the directions, and in most cases they are talking also about the supply base. Intel is a huge company, as I said, we have over 90,000 employees. We reside in plus minus 27 countries. The global way is the only way we know. We work globally. We set global contracts, global direction, but at the end, services, construction is happening at the site level. Therefore, the interface between my team to the global team is very, very important, because all of these activities are happening on the site level. So imagine someone is doing a very, very good job, picking a very good supplier, setting a very great standard globally, and then when we get to the project in Israel, we find out that the standard is not legal in Israel, for example. Or the supplier, for some reason, does not like to work in Israel. Or the supplier does not have a legal entity in Israel, therefore cannot perform his duties inside Israel. So the interface, when we get into the project-specific parts, talking about the preparation, whether it is contract or commercial or risk assessment, or talking about the strategy or supply base, okay, or any other activities that we are doing after we sign the contract, we need to make sure that the global strategy, A, we are aligned with the global strategy, and B, we influence the global strategy, and C, the global strategy is applicable. The difference between market intelligence and indicators is that indicators are looking at the past, what is behind you. How much money did we spend with this company? How much project did this company did in the past? It's very hard to indicate what is the future holds for this kind of companies. Okay, so when I'm going into a few $1 billion construction project, I really want to know what are the companies that I'm going to work with they are doing today. How many projects they are doing since the beginning of 2012? How many companies did they build for? What did they build for? What is their financial status? Okay, what is their forecast that they gave to the market if they are a public company, for example? All those are important elements that I need to know before I start to do negotiation on the next project or the next contract. Therefore, I'm a big fan of market intelligence.